Well, hey, y'all, it's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm Jessica Jones. Welcome into our show tonight. My gosh, something is wrong with my computer right now. Hold on one second, y'all. I may have too many things open. Hold on, y'all. Okay, that's it. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Okay, it's the Cryptid Huntress show. I'm sorry. It's a hot mess express over here tonight. I hope you guys are having a wonderful night. My goodness. Happy Saturday, y'all. Happy Saturday. Gosh, we've had a fantastic week of shows. And I want to thank everybody for all your support all week, for being here. And yeah, we have a fantastic show for you guys tonight. Oh my gosh, we have Long Island Bigfoot Mike here in the studio with me tonight. And we're going to talk about some of his personal experiences with feral people in the Adirondacks up in New York, and the Woodstock Wendigo. I know we're not supposed to say that word too much, y'all, but we are going to hear about his encounter with that. But first, we have something that is really interesting that we're going to cover tonight. And my good friend Dylan Monroe, he is with DSMP. He's the one that makes like the Q maps and stuff. Y'all may know Dylan. Well, he sent me an article today, and it actually has to do with Skinwalker Ranch, y'all. And I did put the link to this up in the comment section tonight. It's at the very top over in the live chat if you guys want to go check that out. And actually we're gonna just pull up this article in just a minute. And so y'all get ready. We've got a lot to discuss. It is about Skinwalker Ranch and some government officials actually going there and being followed home by a dog man. Okay. It's a little bit of disclosure there, a lot of disclosure actually. And now they're involving bipedal canines in this government disclosure. So I think we're inching closer and closer to full disclosure, y'all. And I'm here for it. Okay. I'm totally here for it. So if you guys would like to follow along with all of my shows and stuff, please go over to my website, thecryptidhuntress.com. You can find all of my shows over there, the calendar of events, and all of my social media links if you guys are into that as well. Also, if you get like to support my channel, please become a member of my Patreon. Thank you to all of my Patreon members. You guys are the best. And also, I have a shop. It's called War Woman Goods. That's over on Etsy. So thank you guys so much for your support there as well. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and get into our show tonight. Okay. I do have a show called A Glitch in the Matrix, and tonight we've had some glitches already. It never fails. It never fails. I was on a winning streak for too long there. We had to have a moment of a glitch. Okay, so tonight we are going on the hunt with Mike Colontonio of Long Island Bigfoot to discuss his terrifying encounter with a real life Wendigo in the dense forest of Woodstock, New York, as well as encounters with feral people in the Catskill Mountains, or maybe the Adirondack Mountains. I can't remember what he told me, but we're going to hear about that tonight. And we're going to also take a deep dive into this wolf-like creature that walked on two legs that appeared at the East Coast home of a government official. Yes, it was an intelligence officer. We're going to get into this. This actually is a very deep rabbit hole that we're going to go down tonight because it does involve Bigelow Properties and Skinwalker Ranch and how our government has been taking these locations, just like the Meadow, where my team does a lot of research, and places of high strangeness like that. There's a little funny business going on. That's all I'm going to say until we get Mike up here. But of course, you guys know Long Island Bigfoot Mike. He and I have done a lot of research together up in New York, actually, over at Montauk and at Camp Hero. We've done that. We actually did a wonderful field investigation with our good friend James Rink of Super Soldier Talk. And rest in peace to our good friend James. But Mike just posted a wonderful video over on his channel of part of our field research one night at Council Rock. So please go and check that out after the show tonight. And we will be posting the links to that in the chat tonight. And also I will put the link in the comments after the show. So please help me welcome to the show tonight, my good buddy, Mr. Mike Colontonio. This is Long Island Bigfoot Mike, if he's here. There he is. Hey, Mike. I think you're muted.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Sorry. My bad.
Hey, Mike.
I mute myself so I don't make noise while you're doing your intro.
Hey, well, I had a big old snafu right in the beginning, but it's all good. I had too many things open on my computer, and there was a delay. So, anyways, thank you for being here tonight. I cannot wait to get this show started, and I wanted to thank you for posting that video of James Reed, myself, and you up at Council Rock. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to get around to it. I mean, anybody can go and look up the Council Rock mini doc. It's the full version of it. You know, if you guys want to see like more of the time that we spent as a group out there. But what Jessica and I did was we like segregated that part when we were out there with James, and they were doing exercises and like different things, and I was documenting it, and I was trying to stay low key, and you know what I mean. I don't even think Jessica knew I was recording most of the time because I was just trying to hang back and like. And I'm glad, I think we're both glad going back, obviously knowing what we know now that he's not here with us anymore. It's really nice to have that moment captured to keep, that memory like solidified, for us where we can actually see James in the field doing his thing, and, it's been nice for me anyway to look back on it, here and there. So, thank you for the help with the thumbnail. I think it came out beautiful. It captures him and Council Rock and everything. And that's the place in the daytime. We were right, where we basically were. But that's like a daytime photo. I took that photo a few days ago. I think that's the one you used. And it came out good.
It did. I thought it was amazing. Let me see. I actually have it right here. So if you guys want to check out the video, this is the thumbnail right here. And please go do that. And pay tribute to our good friend, James Rink. He's very much missed so much. And love James lots. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, we've got a lot to talk about tonight, and we do. So we're going to talk about your Wendigo experience. We're going to talk about feral people up in the New York Appalachian Mountains up there. But first, I had something that I wanted to discuss tonight over an article. Okay, and I'm gonna have to resend this article to the chat because I just lost it when my computer went berserk. Right before the show tonight. And so I'm going to resend this and then we're going to get into this. What do you know about Skinwalker Ranch, Mike?
I mean, I don't know much more than what we've been told publicly, and I'm sure that there's more to it than that, right? Because, it's just, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the stuff that they showed us, at least on the show itself, I feel like it was just fluff. You know what I mean? Because like For one instance, when they were like up on the mesa, I think it is, and they were getting like crazy readings on their EMF, and I'm thinking, I'm like, there's a dozen people I know, including myself, who get those readings off different, those high readings, like off different places. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean that there's something going on, but I know they didn't just stop there. Like, you don't just get those readings and just go, oh, that's it, and move on. So I mean, there's a lot more going on than I think we'll ever know. But the one thing that they've been touching on, or that this man recently in this article touched on, was like you said, you think that there's going to be a disclosure, and I can't wait, honestly, because there's there's always going to be people who doubt things, right? Like, oh, there's no way. I believe in Bigfoot, but I don't believe in Dogman. I don't believe in that shit. And I get it. Like, I get why there's a resistance, right? But I almost can't wait for, like, how there was UFO disclosure. Like, I can't wait till there's, like, the next thing, And for this UFO guy to come out and say, well, I was out here at Skinwalker Ranch, I was over in Utah and Nevada, and had all these UFO encounters. Whatever happened. And then I went back east. I went to the East Coast, and they call it the hitchhiker effect, right? That's what they call it. I mean, a lot of times these people take things that we've already been saying for years and just kind of coin them, right? But he had some bipedal hairy figure that was dog-like, right? A bipedal dog-like furry monster, however he phrased it, I forget. But he said that it followed him back to, to the East Coast, which our friend, our good friend Vic Cundith, you'll hear people ask him all the time, what do you think, Vic, right? Like, do you think dogmen are flesh and blood, or do you think that they're paranormal? And he'll say, well, it goes back and forth, right? Because you'll hear about them drinking from a dirty puddle and eating from a trash can, and then you'll hear that somebody saw them in Maine, and then they drove 500 miles, and then they saw the same thing again in their backyard, And how does that happen? You know what I mean? So without there being like some sort of ether, and I think that's what this guy dealt with. You know what I mean? I think that's what this guy was dealing with. Was he had some kind of unlocking? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, I feel like you're almost tagged, or you get unlocked or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're open to all these things. Because there was a day, probably 7 years ago, I'd say it is by now, where nothing really was happening to me before that, or if it was, I wasn't noticing it. You know what I mean? And then the floodgates opened.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, this is okay. So you and I both know that you have a UFO sighting or something. There's usually other ways experienced out there. Okay, always. And I hate to say this, but I've got this website pulled up. This is the Daily Mail out of the UK.
Your audio is jumping. I don't know if it's just. Okay. I don't know if your audio is just jumping.
Single time I ever pull up a Daily Mail, every time I pull up the Daily Mail on my computer, it makes it's got so many ads on it.
Your audio is jumping a little bit. I don't know if it's just for me. Maybe ask the chat. I don't know if it's jumping for them too.
Yeah, it probably is. It's because it's going haywire because of this. Here, let me finish down. Can you? Is my audio still bad?
Somebody just said it's breaking up. Audio is jumping. Yeah. I mean.
Okay, let me stop sharing.
That's okay. Yeah, as soon as you pull that up.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me give it time to calm down a little bit because that's what this. Well, can you? Is it still jumping a little bit, Mike?
No, you're back now. As soon as I didn't want to cut you off, but as soon as you started sharing, it was like very like that, and I didn't want to, I didn't want you. I
Oh yeah,
felt bad. I hate cutting you off, but I didn't want you to like be saying something
it's
important
okay.
and nobody couldn't hear you.
No, I need to know this. Okay, well, I'm just going to read this from my phone because obviously my technology over here is not working today. Government intelligence officer assigned to secret UFO investigation said wolf-like creature that walked on two legs appeared at his East Coast home afterwards. Okay. So this was just posted yesterday. So this is a brand new article, just came out yesterday. It said a rocket scientist who directed a top secret investigation into UFOs has spoken out about the bizarre things his colleagues claim to have witnessed. Dr. James Lakatsky, an intelligence analyst previously with the Defense Intelligence Agency, revealed that during his time investigating UFOs, many witnesses recalled paranormal experiences after seeing the objects. We realized that the people who openly say, I observed a UFO up close, maybe on the ground, that they always seem to have a paranormal connection in some ways if you gently push them. Lakatsky told investigative journalist George Knapp in a recent interview with local CBS affiliate KLAS. Lakatsky directed the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program, a top secret initiative under the DIA in the 2000s. He recalled that many officials with the AAWSAP experienced a hitchhiker effect where they seemed to come into contact with paranormal phenomenon long after they left the program's home base in Nevada. Lakatsky said that at least 5 highly experienced intelligence officers saw balls of light, shadowy figures, and even creepy creatures. One investigator was plagued by mysterious orbs when he returned to his home on the East Coast and even saw what he described as a wolf-like creature that walked on 2 legs. What did it get on a train or a plane to come to Washington? He questioned. So here's what's going on. I've had almost the exact same thing happen to me at my home after leaving the meadow. I guess you call that the hitchhiker effect, where you're out there doing some investigating and UFOs are present, and then suddenly you go home and you got orbs in your house. Okay. Or orbs around your house. This guy, thank goodness I have not had a Dogman show up in my backyard yet. Okay. Not that I know of, but still, I think that's really interesting that these are government officials coming out, Mike, admitting to seeing things like a Dogman in their backyard after going out and doing this. And this is like it's supposed to be like a top secret, like UFO committee or something.
He's a rocket scientist, this guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is by far, like, he's as science as you get. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Those are the type of guys that are like, they're going to try to explain something away. If there's logic involved or whatever, like, those are the type of guys that are going to give it to you. But yet, here he is talking about UFOs and hitchhikers and hitchhiker theory and Dogman following him back to his house. You know what I mean? So, like, how much more do you need? You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
How much more do you need before you're like, oh, there's something going on here?
Well, I think it's really cool. Apparently, there was one journalist that knew about this special project they've been working on since the 2000s. That's George Knapp. Okay, so George Knapp knew about this all along, and they were investigating places like Skinwalker Ranch, places that belong to Bigelow. And I actually have something else. You know what? This is wild because I'm thinking about the nature of what I was going to be showing the audience tonight. And now I see why my computer is messing up so bad, because I was about to show, I guess I'm going to still try to show it. Okay. But there's Dr. Stephen Greer. Last week I had mentioned during the show, on one of my shows, that Dr. Stephen Greer had put out a video on an interview that he had done where he's discussing how, I guess, Bigelow or the government kind of had taken over Skinwalker Ranch. And it was by using technology that opened a portal on Skinwalker Ranch. And they were actually taking advantage of like the Native American lore, the Native American, you know, I don't want to say just folklore because this is real life, but taking of the energetics there, they were taking advantage of that. And they wanted to run the person who owned that land off of that land. So what they did, what he claims he did, what the government did, he said that he knows the people who did it. They put some kind of technology that opened a portal to he said something like the ninth gate of hell or something. He said all these creatures came out of it. Now, whether these creatures were holograms or whether they were real, I mean, I don't know. But still, I don't know. I could try to show this video. Should we try it? I mean, I can't guarantee anything's going to work on my computer tonight, but I can try to play this. Let's try it. If it starts to go haywire, I will stop sharing my screen. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we can always do it old school, I guess. If you want to, you could send it to me and I can like hold it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've got it here. Let's see if this is working.
I know.
You know what it was? It was that all those ads on that website. It completely jammed my computer up. Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah,
Well,
I saw that.
Okay, so we may need to talk over this. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, this is should be fair use.
No,
okay,
yeah,
it should be fine.
I watched it.
This is UFO Elder on Instagram, and I believe this should work. Let's hear what he has to say. Okay, this is Dr. Stephen Greer, and here we go.
Didn't want to sell it, but what they did, and I know the people who did it, they set up the electromagnetic transdimensional phenomenon that then induced horrible phenomenon coming out of the ninth ring of hell, or out of lower frequency opening into other dimensions. It scared the hell out of this rancher, and he was scared off the ranch and sold. A similar thing happened, but it was more of a tax fraud scheme with the people who sold the Bradshaw Ranch, so that this cabal could acquire these sites where there was already some unusual phenomenon that they could then exploit.
I mean, listen to that, Mike. He said that there's actually already some unusual phenomenon that they could then exploit. I mean, so that tells me right there that Skinwalker Ranch is probably not the only spot that they.
No, it's not because if you know what's very popular right now, Stranger Things, right? And what do they always talk about? The upside down. And this guy is talking about how the upside down in general, right? Is how there's this alternate dimension right below Long Island, and that there's all these things that and it's right there, plain as black and white. All they did was change the location, but I mean, like, so what are these guys talking about? These things interdimensionally coming out through the ground, and these spots, and it's sure. And it's not isolated. You know what I mean? Like it.
No, right.
These guys are doing what seems to be remember when they were using the LiDAR and stuff and EMF? I think they were looking for the areas to poke and prod, or trying to limit the areas, kind of trying to limit and find the areas where these things were coming from. Because there's one episode way back where this like wolf comes out of nowhere, kills some goat or something, and then like disappears. And they're like trying to like track it, and I'm kind of laughing to myself, like you're gonna track it where? Like we're gonna look for footprints, buddy? Like, good luck with that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's kind of like what that guy who was saying this. The person that was quoted in that article, who said that they had some intelligence officers that went home, or they had the hitchhiker effect. And he said, well, what did they do? He's like, we went from there. He said they call it paranormal because they left from like a Bigelow property, like Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, I know I haven't finished this Instagram video. We're going to finish this in just a second. But they were saying like, well, they left Skinwalker. They didn't say Skinwalker Ranch, but I'm assuming it was Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah,
and they flew back to DC. They were in Washington on the East Coast, and then these things started showing up. Well, they didn't get on the plane and fly there, he said. And so it's obviously paranormal, and that's why they made sure to call this paranormal. Okay. And I don't know. I think this is a step in the right direction for disclosure, obviously, but also what is the agenda behind this? They're actually talking about a Dogman.
There's another show too, and I believe this ranch called Blind Frog Ranch is right next to Skinwalker, and they were doing these things where they were diving and going in these really sketchy situations with scuba gear or whatever, like tunneling through and trying to get to these places. My memory sucks, but if it serves me even a little bit correctly, I believe they were trying to get to some kind of mineral or whatever that was worth a lot of money because it's not supposed to exist on Earth, right? But yet here it is in the side of this mountain in the middle of in the middle of what I call the spots out there, like Arizona, Nevada, Utah. I call that like our Egypt, right? I do think like we have our own version of like those things, and they're all out there, like you dig enough, you're gonna find one way or another.
Oh yeah, they're I mean, I have had several people over the years. You can imagine I've had a lot of people want to know where my team goes and investigates, and I don't tell anybody. Okay, and I've not only am I under NDAs from at least one of my teams. We've always tried to keep it kind of to ourselves about where some of these spots are, right? Because it's for research purposes. Of course, there's been an exorbitant amount of people that have been out to the meadow at this point. I'm just going to be honest. There's like a lot of people that have been in the meadow at this point, and it is what it is. And so a lot of people do know where it is. Of course, they're supposed to be under NDA, so I don't know. But I'm including like government officials and stuff. I'm sure have been out to the meadow. They know where it's at. So, but here's another thing. So I'm going to finish this video because this is very interesting. I want you guys to listen to this. He says that at the very end, Stephen Greer says, well, we were out there investigating this exact location at Skinwalker Ranch, and at night we would hear drilling. And so it's his understanding they're probably putting a black budget deep underground military base right underneath Skinwalker Ranch, he said. So here we go. Let's finish this video. Hopefully this is fine.
And the research and the work they do, that's quite evil. It subsequently was bought by a businessman named Fugel, and I'm not sure he understands how the innate, let's call it intrinsic and indigenous phenomena that was there has gotten altered.
There's a term that got popularized at a Skinwalker Ranch called the Hitchhiker effect.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, it's when the phenomenon seems to follow you home. Is that a real effect, or is that also a psyop?
I don't know, because I've never experienced that. We did do a CE5 expedition on a bluff overlooking Skinwalker, and we didn't have any of that happen. But of course, we're doing something in a very high state of consciousness, making contact. What we did here was sort of at the wee hours, a continuous drilling sound underneath the earth. And I think there may be a black site being put in there underground.
Okay. And that's that. So that's some interesting disclosure right there, if you ask me.
Well, I mean, here's how that goes. Like, if these people they come in and they're a civilian agency and Dr. Greer and all these people, right, whatever, and they're not working hand in hand with the feds, right, with the three-letter agency, with the government, right? They're not working hand in hand. They want this stuff for themselves. So of course you're going to hear drilling, because guess what? Now you're not letting anybody on your property. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to use that old clause where you don't own what's under your property. And they're going to go down over here. Yeah, well, they'll go down over here outside your property and start drilling across right underneath you.
Oh, that's genius.
It's grimy, yeah. Yeah, genius. Yeah, genius. It's one way to put it.
Genius, I was joking, but it is smart.
But yeah. I mean, So if he's hearing drilling, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. But it could be a number of things. I'm not going to act like I know, because I'm not there. But that's my estimated guess.
Nathan, this comment is funny. Like, I would like to think, because he said the government absolutely knows where the meadow is at since 2017. I would like to think more effort is centered around keeping good, decent people safe. I doubt that, but it's okay. We'd like to think that our government is here to keep us safe, but it's,
well,
I don't believe that.
It is a mixed bag. I mean,
Yeah,
it is a mixed bag. Like, they're not going to necessarily hurt us per se. You know what I mean? Like, but you want to talk about hitchhiking? Like, if you're onto something, like when you're really onto something, oh, they absolutely piggyback. And will, jump in with you. You know what I mean? Because I've always said, like, if the government wanted to shut me down, like, if they really wanted to hurt me, all they would have to do is hire some guy for $50 a day to come stab my tire once a week, and I'd be out of commission. You know what I mean?
Don't give anybody ideas, Mike. You know how that works.
I've said it a lot, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be able to keep up. You know what I mean? So, like, it really, I don't think they're out to get us as bad as we like to think. I think that they like to watch us. And you know what I mean? And piggyback off of us more so than anything.
Well, here's another thing. So there's actually another video, a full video of this fella that the article was about. And he admittedly says that they went there to these places to see how they can weaponize the paranormal activity. I mean, we always say they want to weaponize everything, right? And we're talking about our government. Okay. And he admittedly says in this video, my mother sent me the video actually earlier tonight. So I will try to, maybe I'll put it in the chat in just a minute if I can pull it up. But it's a video. He says it's like a news broadcast. And the guy said, he's like, well, we wanted to go see what kind of things we could weaponize, how we can weaponize this. It just kind of reminded me of how of that castle that MT Paranormal Mike and I went over last week with our remote viewing data. It was that castle out of, where were we at? The Czech Republic, right? The Huska Castle. Well, the Schmatzi, the Germans had gone there during World War II because they said it was a portal to hell, and they wanted to go learn how to harness. They wanted to go try to harness the power of hell, they said. Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, maybe that's what they're doing at Skinwalker Ranch.
Of course.
At this point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, no. If there's an energy of any type, like, they want to, it's not always weaponized. Like, weaponize is like such a, they want to harness it, whether it be for, I don't think it's going to be for like some on scale attack, but it's good to have in your bag. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what they want to do. They want to weaponize it and harness it and have it in their back pocket to, to be like, hey, guess what we got, and, don't fudge with us because we found the Anunnaki's weapon. We found it. You ever see Transformers? Like when like the Transformers get messed up and they're hiding or whatever, and then there's this big company who learns how to harness all the Transformers stuff, and then they start building Transformers, but they're building them even better because they can make them like shit like that. This is where you get, you know what I mean? You get into these soft disclosure moments and, whatever. You get my drift.
I do. I get your drift. I see. I'm picking up what you're throwing down for sure. And let me tell you, it's just wild. Okay. And I feel like, I hope that like our government has only good things for the people who live here, right? Like wants to like protect us and, harness the energy, figure out how to weaponize that for our benefit somehow. But I don't know. It's just like with the Dogman programs, Mike. It's like the same, like the Dogman breeding programs. Like, is that for us or is that to use against us? Is it to protect us or to destroy us?
I don't know if they even know at this point, you know what I mean? But then again, that's what I mean. It's there for them to harness it, to control it, or to try to control it, right? And then
Yes.
if that really is a thing, then and I know that there are cryptid labs. I know there are. I don't. It's not a matter of. It's not a matter of we have. And I tell you guys this all the time, right? We know about Montauk. We know about Brookhaven Labs. We know about Plum Island, and I know about another one, but I can't give it to you. You know what I mean? I can't give you the name, but I have done it. I slipped up on I don't know if I slipped up or Vic slipped up, but Vic did say the name once on one of the shows because I told it to him, and he said, "What about that thing over here?" And I was like, "Oh." Shit. And I thought there wasn't a fallout, but I was scared. I really was scared.
Well, you're already on the map, I'm sure. You're on the list.
Well, you know,
I'm
who the
kidding.
hell's really paying attention anyway?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
this
Who
stuff
cares?
It happens under everybody's noses for all these years, and nobody seems to
That's
give a
right.
shit.
That's right. Well, here's my question. Okay, so if they have this technology to open these portals, which we've known they have technology to open portals, I've had numerous people from the secret space programs like Arkeem Ra, and I know like Arkeem has had some very interesting experiences. Okay, but he's talked about. I mean, and I feel like one day, and I hate to say this, I feel like one day his stuff is going to be proven to be true. I believe it. Him and a lot of these secret space program people. I know I'm trying to do my part by helping them out with some of these remote viewing targets and stuff, you know, but I feel like, you know, he talked about like having people carrying like briefcases in that had these bricks in them, like magnetic looking bricks, and they would put them on the wall and it would just open up a portal right there in a wall. Okay, so we know there's all this technology that we're not privy to, right? That they have. And so what type, if they are there to study, and they've been doing this for decades, these cryptids and this phenomenon at Skinwalker Ranch, we're talking about our government, our intelligence officers, our intelligence agency. Then is that where a lot of these cryptids are coming from? We've had an uptick potentially in cryptid sightings all over the United States. We've already dived into the Dogman breeding programs and Dogman programs. Well, what about these rakes and these pale crawlers? I don't remember people talking about rakes and pale crawlers back in the 1970s and 80s or 2000s even. I don't know. I had not heard of them. Could they be opening portals and bringing them from another dimension purposely for some reason? I mean, I don't know. This just opens up a huge can of worms, Mike. And so I think it's important that we talk about this and the fact that this intelligence officer. And here's the thing. Okay, when you say intelligence officers, those people, their job is to sometimes steer you in the wrong direction. Okay, so we got that too.
Can be.
Can you trust anything from anybody anymore?
Yeah, because you have intelligence officers, and then their job is to collect intelligence, right? Obviously, and then there's going to be an intelligence officer that is for the public, right? Because the press or whatever, and yeah, that they're going to give you a twisted little bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? Because how's the old saying go? You can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
You really can't. You know what I mean? They really can't. Like,
well,
how many times do you go to tell somebody something about something and they like just want to laugh you under the table or just tell you how wrong you are or how impossible it is, and it's like it's shit that's happened to you firsthand, and they're gonna try to talk you like back from it, and it's like, all right, like I've learned to just, you know, give them the old thumbs up and have a merry day, you know, and you know, a good fuck off and have a nice day, you know. But I don't have the patience for it anymore. I'm not here to. I'll spend my energy on the people who want to, you know, we really want to hear about it. You know, I understand why. I have a friend, right? She lives near you, and she was talking to me one day. I forget about what. She has a little tiny dog, and she had to bring the dog out, whatever. And she was scared because the dog They live on a lake in Georgia, and it's however far east of Atlanta. And yeah, and it's sketchy out there, you know what I mean? And I know what that feeling's like, right? And my buddy Sean, he lives out there too, in the same area. And you know, and he's like, yeah, we got this property, and right around, we only own 2 acres, but right around it's just really sketchy. Like the dogs, I don't like when the dogs go too far, you know? And I can attest to that. Like, I started buying bigger and bigger and bigger flashlights because I wanted to see more when I was out there, because it can be kind of really intimidating when you know that everything that's out there, everything and anything that's out there can see you, but you can't see it. That's a really, you know, it's a really, I don't know if humbling is the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And you're a military veteran. Like you've been in Afghanistan. You have fought in wartime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Well, here's part of my point, I guess. When I said that, when I started talking about the intelligence officers, shout out to all my intel officer friends. I know I've got some friends that are, you know, even Trey, the head of my team, he retired from the Department of Defense. Okay. So, but I'm saying, you know, there's in some aspects, to have someone, especially even like Trey on our team, it's like, well, that's wonderful, because it gives it some more credibility to the things that we're experiencing out there. But then you also look on the flip side, and I trust Trey 100%. Okay. Of course. And I'm out there, I'm part of that team. Okay. And, but then we've also got, you know, as a machine, like as a whole, it's like, well, can we really trust some of the stuff that, you know, they're putting out there to us? But I think this is, like I said, I think it's a step in the right direction, as far as them putting out there, like what I've been preaching this whole time since I've been public, that it's all connected. Okay. Well, I've talked about my hitchhikers that I've had coming home from the meadow with those orbs in my house. I've talked about all the paranormal stuff, you know. It's all connected. The UFOs, the Dogman, the Bigfoot, the big W's we're going to talk about tonight, right?
You touched on the military, and I want to just bring this one story's popping into my head, right? And so I was in Afghanistan at Kandahar at this point, and that's kind of like one of the better places to be, because it's a bigger base. They're called FOBs, forward operating bases, right? And a lot of them are very small. They have tents, and there's not a lot to do. This place had all the NATO guys, so all the different armies. It had brass there. It had like a couple little places you could spend your money on food or whatever, you know. Anyway, long story short, I was at the motor pool that day. And I wasn't really doing much hard labor, but I had been there for like hours, you know, 18 hours, whatever it was. And they asked for guard duty. You know, who wants to do guard duty? And like, you know, now everybody's like a deaf, dumb mute, and like doesn't, you know, won't make eye contact and this and that. And I'm like still kind of gung-ho, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'll do that shit. Who cares? I'm like, I already did 18 hours. I'm like, what's another? I'm like, you know, it's a 24-hour shift. So I'm like, what's another 6? Who cares? Like, I'm not ready to go to bed yet either. Not that I know I'm signing on for another 24. I didn't know. I didn't know I was signing on to do 24. So I get there, and I get to this one of the corners of the bases. And they have a gate where the guys come in on foot, and they have to drop their trucks. Some guys will drive their trucks through a chute, which is kind of like a U shape. And they go in this U, and then they stop. And then one at a time, they get out. They're individually searched. Their trucks are searched. The personnel gate, they're searched over there. And I get there, and my job is to go into this tower. And it has this. Most of them were made out of wood, which I wasn't happy about. So I am happy they gave me the one with the bulletproof windows, right? but it's this big metal tower. So I have to climb this little raggedy spiral staircase, open this chute thing, right? And like, like a seal out of water, get myself up there. And I get in, I close the chute, and there's like this little swing that's like 2 feet off the ground that you sat in. And it was like a bench on wires. And you kind of just like could kick yourself off the wall and spin in a circle to see out the different windows. But the thing is, they were supposed to be air compressed. You pushed a button and they went psh, but they were broken. So I had to leave the windows open, which with like pieces of wood and stuff. And sometimes it would break the wood because the glass is so heavy, it would shatter the wood and it would sound like an explosion. Anyway, long story short, they sent me there with M16 with 30 rounds, which was not going to cut it in that situation. Not to defend a whole entire highway, a whole chute of guys coming in vehicles, a whole personnel coming in. So I'm covering all these different stations plus my walkie-talkie with everybody else at the different spots, right? So I trade for a saw, which is what the hell's the saw? M42 Bravo, I think is maybe the technical term, which is like a light armored machine gun, right? So I trade my friend for that. So I got that at least now, so I can kind of spray something if I have to. So long story short, the military is not always up on their game. So night falls, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, somebody's going to show up, right? I didn't see anybody the whole time. The whole 24 hours, nobody came, nobody cared what I was doing up there. They just assumed I had my shit together. I didn't have night vision goggles, right? So I can see the highway clearly from my tower. I could see over the fence and everything. I could see everybody every which way if I spun around. But the highway, I believe it was called Highway 4 or Highway 2, I forget. But I could see that highway, and there was open fields that went out. And as darkness fell, it was a long night, and I can't see anything, but I'm like, all right, whatever, this sucks. It really sucks when you can't see anything and you're in that situation. You feel like you're in a fishbowl, like waiting for somebody to pick you off,
Oh, yeah. Like you're out there in the field waiting for Dogman to attack, right? I know that feeling.
So the sun comes up, and there's this whole community like 100 yards away, doing their thing. There was a guy, I won't get graphic. He was with his donkey.
Oh my!
I know. And anyway, there was other people farming and stuff over here.
Entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, sure. And then
wow.
but there,
That really happens, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah. And then I don't know why, but
oh my god.
Anyway, point is, I couldn't see
every day.
shit. Yeah, I didn't know anything. There was a point to all this. The point is, they don't. The military doesn't always have their shit together. So when everybody's always so concerned about they're coming after me or they're doing all this shit, they have to be really specialty projects with a lot of funding and stuff for them to really do all that, and it's not like, oh, I'm looking for Bigfoot now, so the feds are gonna come get me.
Yeah,
and,
they're always watching.
Yeah,
right.
It doesn't go down like that. They don't just task Black Hawk helicopters, that cost millions of dollars, and however 50,000 in gas for the day, they're not gonna just do all that shit because of willing, because I was a physical soldier in a physical war and they didn't give a shit about what I had. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, no, that's actually a good point, and I think that and I think that we need to, I think a lot of us are kind of aware of that, but of course, I think that is a way to keep us from talking about stuff. When I first went public talking about my research, people tried to cut me off at every angle. And it was weird because I was like, man, people that had like already had podcasts were telling me, they're like, well, you shouldn't talk about this and you shouldn't talk about that. And you need to be careful what you say and you're going to offend these people. And I was like, okay. And I started noticing at first, I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. And then I was like, you know what? No, if I'm going to speak publicly, I'm going to speak about what I can speak about. And I want to speak about it.
And that's why, even though no matter how weird my shit may sound and how out there, and even if I think, man, people are going to look at me like, get the out of here, right? Yeah. I don't give a shit because I'm not doing any justice by holding back. You know what I mean? If you're going to do it, do it. You know what I mean? Go balls to the wall, and do it. Or don't, or stay home.
Well, and this is a perfect example today because I've been talking about all this being connected and having the paranormal, the hitchhiker thing. I've been telling my personal encounters and my personal experience for years now. And now the government is coming out because everybody's just waiting for the government to disclose this stuff, right? And now we're getting some disclosure about.
But you know what?
Dogman.
Even when they disclosed the UFOs, that didn't do too much. You know what I mean?
No, people are not shocked. Nobody is.
Not even that people aren't shocked. Like a lot of people still don't believe it. You know what I mean?
Well,
they'll be like, no, there's nothing up there. No, that's not that. Da, 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 da. It's people are set in their ways, and we have to. I don't know. I was really looking forward to. I've said it a while back. There was a bunch of young kids coming up, some young guys coming up in the game. I'll call it. And I was excited for it, but they kind of fell back, And a lot of that was because I was really, really trying to roll out the red carpet for them because I saw them as the future. I saw them as, the torch carriers that are they're young and energetic and have so much, they have so much to give and so much energy to go. And then it didn't get perceived like that by a lot of the I'm here and I'm the man guys,
established and researchers.
Yeah. And kind of really ruined that for them. And
that's where your thick skin has to come in handy, and I had to learn the hard way.
Well, these young guys, they got young guys, it could be gals too, but they have options as well. And that's what I was thinking as well. I was like, we can't scare them off because they have options. We all do. You get paid to be here. I don't get paid to be here. we could be doing some other shit, right?
We could be doing other stuff. That's true.
Shit. It's just important to us. So this is what we do because it's that important. Yeah. And it is. And somebody's got to do it. Like,
true.
I could go wash cars a few hours a day instead of hiking and getting ticks and bruises
instead of having people making fun of us and stuff.
Poison ivy. Oh yeah. Right. And every day I wake up to a shitty comment and I go to bed to a shitty comment and whatever.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
It is.
It's all good. Well,
that's right.
Well, at this point, we do have some 4 steps into disclosure when it comes to Dogman, and I'm just super excited about that. Okay, and they made sure to say it was paranormal, but it is what it is. Okay, it's a small step for mankind right here. And JoJo,
you could say he could say paranormal, and I don't mind that part at all. I don't mind any of it because the way it was described was paranormal, hairy, bipedal, right? Yep. These are all things. So I mean, when you see something paranormal, like if you're talking about a ghost, you don't say hairy. You know what I mean? You would describe clothes, right? Mm-hmm. You would describe. Oh, it was a ghost and it was wearing a long white dress, or it was dressed in colonial era stuff, right? You don't hear hairy, or furry, whatever the words are.
Furry.
So right? I'm into it. I'm here for it.
Well, and something else that I wanted to point out is that he said that the gentleman said that it was a wolf-like creature.
Right.
Let me read the exact quote because it said that there were scratches on. They said it was physical. It was a physical creature, flesh and bone, because it had actually scratched a tree and left claw marks. He says a wolf-like creature that walked on 2 legs appeared at this East Coast home afterward. Okay, and that was after getting home to I think they said DC, like Washington, from out west, probably in Utah at Skinwalker Ranch, but they didn't specify Skinwalker Ranch. So I think that's interesting. It was specified it was flesh and bone, and it left a claw mark. That is why I put all these pictures up of the Dogman with the claw, okay, and the claw marks. So
Yeah,
AI is outrageous, man. That was so cool.
If I'm just gonna go ahead and give like the chat for anybody who gives a shit right now. If you do see claw marks on a tree, and you do want to see a Dogman, hang out there. Don't keep moving. Don't go around, because chances are it's marking it that because it doesn't know where it is or whatever, and it wants to go back. It's kind of. You know what I mean? Almost like how you would stick a flag and you know what I mean? So it's probably a good chance you might see it coming back the other way,
Yes. Let me throw out some pictures real quick. Now, this is the actual man. I can't remember what his name was.
I thought somebody joined us. That freaked me out.
No. These are some screenshots I took from that news broadcast. I took some screenshots.
I was like, who is this?
So that's him. And well, and these are some of the reports. This is his name right here. This is a book that he wrote. James Lakatsky. That's it, Lakatsky. Inside the U.S. government's U.S. government covert UFO programs. It's called New Insights. So, and this is a screenshot from that news broadcast right there. And this is actually, let's see, what is this? Statement of objectives for the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program. Now, this is just part of what he was discussing during that broadcast. And that's just there's documentation of these programs that they're working on with these, supposed to be, they were super secret UFO studying programs or whatever, I guess. I don't know. They're out there at Skinwalker Ranch. As though they were, the main objective was to go check out the UFOs, but then they were looking into all the other phenomenon that was connected. Okay. So I'm excited about all this. This has been around for a long time. George Knapp knew about it the whole time, but he couldn't say anything. And now he's talking a little bit about it. And I think it's wonderful. But nonetheless, okay. So we watched that little short video of Dr. Stephen Greer saying that they've got technology to open these portals to bring out all these ninth gate of hell, interdimensional bad things. I'm assuming he's talking about I want to say S-walkers, maybe like that kind of a thing, or like these pill crawlers, or the big W that we're going to talk about tonight, which, by the way, there's different descriptions of the big W, which is the Wendigo, y'all. Some of them look like a beast that has antlers, and others look like pill crawlers that are like zombies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that, if anyone's watched the new Stranger Things, the new season, the Demogorgons are doing that. They're peeling open wrinkles in time, right? They're coming through and going back wherever they want and going into the upside down. And you can date all the way back to when Preston Nichols and Peter Moon pieced together. Now, Peter Moon was writing about it, half fiction, half whatever, not half and half, but leaving it open to interpretation for fiction and nonfiction. But he was talking about that day when Junior arrived and came, through that exact portal scenario. Yeah. And, so it's been around, and this is just the guy right now. This is the guy who's repackaging it for everybody, CE5,
exactly.
for instance, CE5, is that anything new to anybody that's done this before? Did
you hear what he said? I thought it was, I actually did a big eye roll the first time I heard that. No offense to Dr. Stephen Greer. Sorry, cool. I'm only saying this because we've done the CE5. It probably does get results with a lot of people. We never know.
Well, you know why? Because I mean, it's basic manifesting. It's all these basic things that do work, but it was packaged up and a little bow was put on it, and it was sold to people, who didn't know who don't know how to do that stuff, and who want to see these things, right? And they don't know where to go to. So I mean, as far as a businessman goes, like I don't have to like this guy to say, well, good, good for you. You actually did something, even though it was a scam. You did something productive at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, okay. Here's another thing too. Like when I think of the CE5, it's very ritualistic too, right? It's kind of ritual, and maybe I'm reaching.
I've never
Maybe I'm
really
reaching.
looked at it.
I've done it. You play tones and frequencies. They're actually the sounds of the wheat, or like the nodules of like the blades of like wheat from crop circles. That's what it is. It's like some kind of frequency that's the sound that it makes. As far as I know, that's what it is. So you're basically sitting around in a circle, usually with a group of people listening to tones. And yeah, it could be opening portals, y'all. I'm just saying, I don't know. Who am I to say? But it is very ritualistic, and there is magic. To me, it's kind of magical. I don't know. I mean, I think there is some kind of a picture that was taken during the CE5. And it looked like there was a little being, and it looked like Lamb from Aleister Crowley. You remember Aleister Crowley? I don't remember him because we weren't born back then.
No.
He had conjured up some kind of little demon named Lamb.
Oh, Aleister Crowley. Oh, there's a song about
the magician. Yeah.
Yeah, Aleister.
Okay,
yeah,
so anyways.
Anyway, yeah.
I'm making all these connections that may not even be connections. Okay, but we're just thinking outside the box tonight.
But that's how you have to do it is let those thoughts run wild, and then when it's like throwing darts at a board. You're never gonna you don't always hit a bullseye. But and that's the beauty of having the chat there too, is because we sit up here saying shit, and then it's like somebody in the chat's like, boom, yeah, this, and it's like, yeah,
Yes. Speaking of the chat, by the way, I want to thank everybody. We've gotten some super stickers, and I want to thank Jojo. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you so much, and you're wonderful. And also Nathan, thank you so much, Nathan. You guys are all pleasures to have in the chat, man. Every single show, y'all. Thank you. He said, I love you all, and Jessica and Long Island Bigfoot. Thank you so much, Nathan. And Jorgensen is back. What's up, Jorgensen? It's good to see you here. Love your positive energy, Jess. Thank you. I love your positive energy too. So thank you so much for your support as well. Man, we always have the best chats on the internet. I'm so partial.
Super chats. I know people who don't stream don't know this, but you don't make anything off of it. You don't make shit. So your super chats are that's what helps. Really, it does. Because it doesn't come from anywhere else. So thank you.
It does help. Thank y'all so much for that. Hey Scott. Hey everybody. I love my audience, man. I love you guys. Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about some of your experiences, because
can I use the facilities real quick before we dive in?
That. Yes, you go do that.
All right.
Come right back, and we'll see you when you get back. Okay.
All right.
Okay, y'all. So a couple of years ago, I'm going to say like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I've been doing this for a while now. Okay. About 4 years ago, I had a friend of mine who I haven't talked to in a minute, but Jeremiah Fountain came on the show. And he had given me a set of coordinates. We discussed me doing a remote viewing target for him, and he lives in the Adirondack Mountains up in northern New York, where Long Island Bigfoot Mike goes and does a lot of research. And he and Jeremiah are friends, by the way. But Jeremiah had given me this target, and it was of a horse-human hybrid monstrosity. Okay, some kind of creature that had shown up on his neighbor's property, his dad's friend, and it apparently it looked like had a human body and a horse's head, and it was a giant. Okay, and it was something that really happened. And Jeremiah, they'd always wondered what this thing was. The gentleman actually was able to. It was dying when he found it, and he was able to take this thing, load it up, pull it up on his truck, and he said it went over the top of his truck. It was in the bed of the truck, and it went over the cab. It was so big. And so he drove into his house or into town. He contacted the authorities. He said the military showed up with a flatbed truck, threw it on the flatbed truck. He said before they did it, the kids were like taking sticks and poking at this thing. And the sticks were going into its skin. It was like paper thin skin. and it was like a hot knife in butter. I remember him saying that. Well, I had remote viewed this thing. Okay. They actually told the gentleman, they said, do not talk about this. Okay. And Jeremiah said that his hair, I think he was like a Nordic background, like kind of had like, it's almost like he was like a Viking. Okay. This gentleman. And he had, I think he said he had blonde hair. And then after that day, his hair turned white. Okay. It was very traumatic for him, having this strange creature show up on his property out in the middle of the Adirondacks. Okay. So I'm telling you this because there's a lot of weird stuff out there in these mountains. Okay. I've done several remote viewing targets on like the crone of the Catskills that Barry gave me a while back. And that involves witchcraft. Okay. We're talking about the Appalachian Mountains. Okay. In the past 3 Saturdays, I've had some friends of mine on the show on different Saturday nights. We've been talking about the research of the Appalachians, the feral people. We've talked about the Dogman. We talked about the werewolves, the Bigfoots, and the witches as well. Well, we're getting all this confirmation that there's a lot of military bases, a lot of deep underground military bases in those mountains. Okay. I'm not going to say a lot. I don't know exactly where. I know where at least one is, I think. But nonetheless, with this disclosure that we're getting right now, with these intelligence officers that are coming forward, they're talking about having hitchhikers coming home after investigating the Bigelow properties. And then so we got Stephen Greer saying that while they were overlooking the Skinwalker Ranch at night, they heard drilling underneath the place. They think there's black projects going on down there with underground bases. This is all connected. And I wanted to talk to Long Island Bigfoot Mike tonight about the encounters that you have had. You've had encounters with feral people. You've had multiple Dogman encounters, Bigfoot encounters, especially at Camp Hero at Montauk. But there's
the one at Camp Hero was kind of just a sighting. But I had called over. Luckily, I had people with me that time, and I had called over Dark Hour Paranormal first, and I had him. I said, "What do you see out there? Do you see anything? Do you see what I see? Whatever." And it was laying like a log or behind the log. I can't remember exactly now, but you could distinctly see it had like a shepherdish head, like a German shepherd head. And he's like, "Wow, okay, yeah, I see that." And then Jonathan, I called over. You remember Jonathan, right? And he was very, he's not one way or another, right, on anything.
Well, he was not a cryptid field researcher by any means.
No, right. Yeah. Yes. So I really great guy. I really wanted to get his take on it. And he came over and was just like, his reaction said it all, the way he was just like, whoa, like, and I was like, okay, good. Like, thank you. Like, I just wanted to know, and people in here might be like, oh, why didn't you run towards it? And it's like, you just don't, you don't see a sleeping bear and run towards it, let alone anything bigger. So yeah.
Well, okay. Well, you've had, I know you and I both have seen enough stuff. We were kind of joking around earlier today about how we've had so much activity. We've had so many encounters that like, it almost sounds ludicrous. Like, who's going to believe us at this point? You know what I mean?
And they can, yeah.
But I've been
like
with you researching before. It's wild. But you had something. I want to hear about this Wendigo. Okay. And I'm not going to say the word anymore. I promise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
because we know what happens if we say it too much, and I've got a story behind that too. So
all right,
what happened?
I'll try to keep it like short without like making it, I don't want to leave any. I'll try to make it short without leaving things out that'll make it not make sense, right? So when I got to Woodstock area, I moved there, and I didn't really know anything about anything. So first thing I do is start going out, right? And I'm going out, and I'm finding these amazing places right nearby, and they're beautiful, and the energy is awesome, and it's insanely productive and fabulous, and everything I'd expect it to be. And then I start going into shops and, talking to the locals. And this one girl introduces herself as a fairy. And I'm like, huh. And she's like, I'm sorry. She's like, you probably think that's weird. I said, no, I really don't. But I said, I do want to ask you a question. I said, who can I talk to about cryptids in the area that might know something, because I don't know anything and I don't want to get hurt, And she says, I do have a Native American contact. The Esopus is one of the local tribes. And she says, I have like a tribe leader that you could talk to. And so whatever, long story short, I won't get into my discussions with them, but I went and as I always do, try to sit down with them, and they gave me these areas that they would never hunt in, even going back to way before gentrification, way before, man settled here. There were areas that were lucrative for hunting, but they would not even go down into these areas and hunt. And they gave me the areas, and those were kind of like hands-off areas. So I said, thank you so much. That's all I needed to know. I don't really need to know how to do it and what to do, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to get you to give me the answers, or tell me how to get encounters or whatever. I'll figure that part out on my own. I enjoy that part. I just want to know where I shouldn't go. And one of these spots, I had bumped into a couple of the spots on accident. Not really knowing where I was. So there was this one place. I'll just give it to you. It was called. I'll just give you the location. Bluestone Wilderness, right at the edge of Woodstock. And I go around this place. I hike all the way around. I don't know how far it is. No idea how far I was hiking. And I end up about 8 miles into the backside. And I get into this pocket of God knows what, right? I'm tired. I don't have drink anymore. I don't have food. I don't have anything. Sun's all the way up now. It's about 9, 10 a.m. now. I started at, before sunrise. Like I'm all the way on the backside, but I'm right across from where I started. I could see like the parking lot if I could through the trees, but I hear these people that have just parked there too, and they're coming into this like bench area that kind of jets out, and you could do fishing or just sit and enjoy the spot. Beautiful area. And so I start kind of like walking backwards towards them. And as I turn around and walk like 100 feet this way, I'm like, whoa, that's weird, right? So it was the same exact thing I just did. So I'm like, all right, that was weird. Let me turn around on the trail, go backwards, go about 100 feet. It's the same exact thing again that I just did. I'm not talking, I'm looking at it from the back. It's the same thing. So now I'm like, what the hell? I turn around, I do it again. Same thing. And again, I'm not looking at it from the back like I'm going back. It's the same exact thing. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go east-west. I'm going to go off trail. I'm going to step off trail, and I'm going to go this way up here. And I start walking up this way. Same exact thing. Turn around, go the other way, try to go off the other side. Same exact thing. I'm stuck in this like time warp thing spot
like
that I can't.
A maze.
I can't get out of it.
The labyrinth.
I can't get out of it. So now I'm hyperventilating. I'm having a panic attack. I'm flipping out, and I can hear these voices. Like I can hear them talking, right? And they're like loud, like laughing and joking. So I'm like, hey, and they're not answering me, and I'm like, hey, getting louder, hey, and I'm getting real loud. I'm triple the voice that they are, and they're not answering me. So I'm like, now I start screaming, help me, help me, hey, help me.
You screamed that?
Yeah, I'm screaming because I'm stuck in this like whatever bubble from hell, and they can't hear me. They can't hear me. And I can hear them, but they can't hear me. And I'm like,
oh my God, you walked into a portal.
I dropped to my knees, and I'm like crying, and I'm like panic at. And then something tells me, right? Like I look up at them and I'm like, I look back at the trail I came from. I'm like, even if I wanted to try to go around the rest of the way, even if I wanted to try to go back, every time I try, I'm just doing the same 100 feet over and over again. It keeps turning me around and I'm doing it over and over again. So I was able to get to the water's edge and I dropped down on my knees. I took everything. I had all these expensive electronics. I took all my stuff off. I wrapped all my electronics up. I put it in the top of my bag. I stuffed everything in. I took my backpack. I tied it sideways on top of my neck like this because I knew I was going to sink like a rock when I jump in this water. And I wanted that to float me back up. And I didn't want everything to get wet, so I wanted it to be the first thing to come up too. So I put air. I tied my pants. I put air in the pants so it would be open and air would catch. Long story short, I take a leap of faith, literally, and I drop myself off. The water meets the land like this, like there's no like easing in. You just drop into deep water right off the ledge, right off the edge. So I did, right? I drop in, boom, I go under. And mind you, I'm having a panic attack freak out. So I have like no breath as it is. So as soon as I hit that cold water and I go under, I don't have like a deep breath in me. So I'm like, trying to get to the top. And I'm a good swimmer, really good swimmer, but I'm trying to get to the top as fast as I can. I get up and I'm like panicking. But as soon as I am able to calm my breath a little bit, I can hear them. And now I can hear birds chirping. I can hear wind blowing. I can hear leaves rustling. It's almost like it negated everything I just was dealing with. Like I broke the cycle. Yeah, thank God.
You came out of the portal is what that was. That's wild. That's a nightmare.
Yeah. And mind you, now I have to swim across a mile lake. And that was a pain in itself because like I said, I'm a good swimmer, but I am so weak and like I have no breath and I'm not doing good at all. I'm crying, so I'm like just paddling and kicking for my life to get to the other side. I remember getting to the other side and just like laying sideways on when you see people kiss the ground, I was kissing the shit out of the ground. I'm definitely scared of snakes. A snake went by and I didn't budge because I was so dead. So I wanted to put this into play a little bit, right? Because I stopped going in there. Even how beautiful that place was, I stopped going in there. Now, about 6 to 8 months later, I find this side road behind these, there's this pizza place, whatever, it's crappy pizza place, but there's this huge hill that goes up, and then it goes, and they have these huge cliffs on both sides, and the road goes down the middle, and then there's a bunch of trails that go off, and but you got to kind of park in this one spot, and nobody really knows it's there, because where you would pull off and park, it's not exactly a parking area, and then you'd have to park there and walk really far down the road to find a trail. So, but I loved this area, and I was like, oh, I'll go check this area out. It's probably really cool. I didn't realize how close it was as the crow flies to that situation I dealt with, because I was thinking it was all the way over on this side, but basically where the incident happened was really close to where I was in that moment. So now I'm walking down the road and there's nobody around for miles, right? Maybe somebody is working at the pizza place down, a mile back or two. I don't know. But I'm walking down the road and I'm thinking about going into the left because there's the big cliffs on both sides. The one on the left comes down first. So I can go in. Once the ground comes down, I can go in there and start walking off trail and poking around or whatever. But as I get to that point, this huge, God knows what, wolf, dog, whatever, I see come running, wow, hauling ass. And it's huge. And I don't know what it is. I know it's too big for a coyote. I know it's not a domestic, and there shouldn't be wolf there either, where I'm at, by any means. I'm in the Catskills at this point. And I'm pretty close to Kingston. Like I'm so between Kingston and Woodstock, there shouldn't be wolves there at all. But this was huge, and it was fast, and it was big, and it was dark, and it scared the shit out of me. But I was like, all right, it didn't come after me. It didn't even really look at me, I don't think. And it looked like it was on a serious mission, like it was getting away, it was running away. Should have took a hint. Should have probably took a hint to why it was running from. What is this huge thing running from, right?
Right.
That didn't cross my mind yet.
Well, you were probably pretty traumatized from what you had just experienced.
Well, this was a whole different day. This is months and months later. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like, so yeah, like I was more just stubborn, invested, like, well, I came all the way here. I walked all the way down this road to get to this point. Like, I want to get in here,
Well, you were looking for monsters anyways. So.
Right. Well, I love this place. So, and I'm like, I still got 2 hours before dark, or, whatever it was. So by now I got about an hour before dark. And I get in and I go to so I'm like, I'm not going that way. So I go a little further and I go to the right. And there's like this big gully that goes down. And so the ridge so where I'm hiking kind of flat. It's not like perfect trails or anything, but it's probably a deer trail. And there's like a huge gully that goes down, and then the other side goes up really high. And then there's the other side behind to my right that goes back up to that huge cliff that I just had to walk past. I don't know if I'm painting a good visual, but it's high. It was probably like a 20-footer, and you can't go up it or jump off it or whatever. You have to come around to get down. And I go in about a mile, maybe more. I don't know. But I start to get this dark, eerie feeling, right? Like something's watching me. And I'm keeping track of the light. And I'm like, all right, I only got, I'm looking at the canopy. I'm looking at the sun. I'm like, all right, I only got maybe an hour tops before dark, So I gotta, even though I want to go further, I want to do more, I gotta get out of here soon. So I start to look, back where I came from. And as I do that, I make eye contact with something. I almost like how somebody would kind of lean on a lamppost like they're cool, like just hanging out on a lamppost, leaning there like on a street corner. That's what this W was doing. It was on a tree, and I couldn't even make it out from the tree at first because of those things on its head. I thought they were branches at first, right? I thought they were just big branches until I fully saw its like whole deer face head thing. And I'd like to tell you it doesn't look like the scary animations that are out there, but that's what it looks like, right? Like it's kind of a mix between like a dead deer skull and a living deer, but the antlers were like, and mind you, it's on 2 legs. Its arms were lanky. Lanky is an understatement. Lanky is an understatement. Like it was almost like how a fat guy stands. Like how like a fat guy stands with his stomach sticking out. It was almost like that, and its Yeah, this shit scares the shit out of me looking at it. Whatever you just showed, yeah, it's scaring the shit out of me.
I'm
But
sorry.
yeah,
I was just trying to show
but
the
no,
audience.
but do you see how it blends in with the trees perfectly though? Like, and but its arms were even lankier than that, I think. Maybe it was hunched down. I don't remember, but anyway, I got this mental thing, right? And I think I told you this, Jessica, when we talked. I don't know if it was telepathy or if it was just something that was portrayed to me or what, but I heard if it was dark, you would be dead. And that and like and I was
Oh
like,
no.
yeah, if you were dark, you'd be dead. And if it was dark, you'd be dead. That's what it said, or whatever. That's what I heard. If it was dark, you would be dead. And I took that as my cue, obviously, to get the hell out of Dodge before dark. But keep in mind, I have to go back past where this thing is. So I look away and I look back and it's gone. But I know it's there. You know what I mean? Like I know it's out here somewhere, and I have to go back past that way. You know, I didn't run. I didn't run. Maybe I should have. I don't know. Uh I felt like it watched me the whole entire time. And why for whatever reason it didn't take me, it didn't do anything to me, I don't know. But you know, if you told me that these things were out there, I would be like, cool story. Because there's so many variations of them, but the stuff that you just showed is the shit that I saw.
Yeah,
Like,
William Nighthawk in the chat just says you encountered, and he is a Lakota medicine man or Dakota medicine man. Lakota medicine man. And he said you encountered a trickster shapeshifter. They draw from the environment. And that's what actually what I was thinking too. As you're saying that, I'm thinking, you know, knowing the things that I've encountered and I've experienced, there is some way. Like we talk about reptilian shapeshifters pretty often, right? And how they're able to make us see something in our minds. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I've been told that these creatures can, in ETs, let's say ETs, for instance, can actually project something into our mind to have us see different things. Like, you know, some people will see a Bigfoot and some people will see a squirrel. You know what I mean? It's all very mental.
Yeah. Well, you know, and not to bring Vic back up again, but he always says, he's like, Mike, you must be the most fearless guy I've ever met. And I'm like, it's not that I'm not scared. I just don't want to feed them. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't want to feed it. And I it's so much practice of keeping that composure. There's so much practice that goes into it. And you have to have a level of insanity where you got to go out there knowing, shit, this might be it. You know what I mean? Because as much as I've seen and bumped into, there's a few occasions where it could have went either way. Why'd it go this way? I don't know, but I'm gonna not, you know, I'm not gonna take it for granted, you know. And and I don't like talking about that one. I really don't, because I really don't know what there was no like, oh, something saved me. You know what I mean? It was like, it was almost like it just wasn't. If it was like it said, if it was dark, I don't know anything about them, but maybe if it was an hour later, I wouldn't be here today. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like Nathan said, do you get the feeling it was feeding on your fear or anxiety, Mike? Like loosh, one of my favorite words.
It's quite possible. I mean, and then I wonder too if that dog was with it, or if that dog was running from it, or it was the dog. Maybe it was the dog. Maybe I interrupted something. I really don't know. You know, I really don't know. The only thing I don't have a lot of answers. I really don't. I wish I did, but there's so many. You know how this goes. There's so many things that are left. You know, that can drive you crazy. Like, if you try to really reach for answers for everything, it'll drive you nuts, you know? Yeah, I wish I knew, but I don't. I don't. And I never go back there. I drove back in there once just to get my. I drove back in once down that road and I stopped there, but I didn't get out of the car. But I had to just go back to, like, that's kind of part of my therapy, you know, like trauma therapy is to go back to certain places and like have a different memory of that area. You know what I'm saying?
Make it right. Make your memories more pleasant.
Yeah, kind of even them out. Yeah. Yeah.
I do that with my dreams. If I wake up and I had a bad dream, I'll go back to sleep and change it. If I have time. I don't always have time to. But thank you for sharing that with us, Mike, because I think that it's amazing. I think it's a really cool encounter, although it was terrifying for you at some point. I think there's way more than just the Wendigo part. Or excuse me, I shouldn't have said that word, but I think it's way more than that because leading up to that story, you told. I think that this is huge. Talking about you getting discombobulated, almost like you had walked into a portal, and you purposely went into the water to get yourself out of there. That was your survival instinct kicking in, and that's probably what saved your life that day.
Yeah, I had no choice. Yeah, I had no choice.
Have a choice. You could have laid down and cried and given up, like probably a lot of people would have done.
Well, yeah, I wonder what was doing that to me. You know, was I in a time warp? Was it a portal? You know what I mean? It was definitely something, but I was stuck within, you know, because the ambient world was not present. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I could see it all out there. Like, I mean, I know it was out there because I could hear the people across the way and I could see them across the way, but I couldn't leave that biodome bubble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the biodome. Gosh, we've been talking a lot about biodomes lately. Underwater biodomes. Yeah. That's wild. The mall world. Thank you, Stargazer. Yes, I know we talk about mall world a lot. I want to take a quick commercial break real quick because I want to thank DJ Finwood. Thank you so much. 5150. Great show. Dana or Dano. I can't see. I'm sorry. It's so dark in here. For the Cryptid podcast, I will check my emails. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. Keep up the amazing work. I will check my emails tonight. Okay. Or definitely in the morning, depending upon how late it is when I get out of the show tonight. So thank you so much for your support. And I will probably be talking to you soon. Okay. And Stargazer, thank you for that super sticker, by the way, DJ Finwood. I appreciate that. And Stargazer, thank you so much for your support as well. Thank you for that super sticker. You're so sweet. And I appreciate that very much. Yeah, this got, okay. So when I was looking for your Wendigo story, I got something even more majestic for the show tonight. I mean, that is wild. It is horrible that you went through that, but let me tell you, there's so many people who have not survived that.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong. You know? Yeah, you know, and I think I told you too, I went and sat with, you know, she's a really powerful psychic, you know, and really, really well-renowned woman in Woodstock when it comes to mediums and, you know, whatever, all that kind of stuff. She's very deeply rooted with everything and everyone. And, you know, she told me, she says, yeah, absolutely, that's what it was, you know, the da-da-da-da-da. And so we went and did she went and sent me to some people and we did a little ritual thing. And I believe I washed them away. But, you know, it because I was on Overlook Mountain as well one night and it was getting dark again. And this, again, listen, this is where it gets important too, because there was a creek and it wasn't a big creek, but I was on one side of the creek and I'm hiking and just doing this beautiful hike through Overlook Mountain, and I hear giggling, you know, and I'm like, what is that, you know? And it's like, ha, 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 like, you know, laughter, playful giggling, and it's like, it makes you want to go towards it and see what it is, right? And then my training kicks in and it's like, no, stupid, you don't go towards that. Like, you know better, right? you know that's a trap, but yet my body just kept going towards it and towards it and towards it. So it's like a mind-body fight saying, don't do that, don't go over it. And as soon as I crossed the creek, which again was probably more of like a little babbling brook, but the water was a separation, because as soon as I stepped over that creek, or whatever you want to call it, the laughter turned demonic, like evil. Like, you know what I mean? Like I got you, like, really. I can't even do it. That was a horrible interpretation, but it was really, really bad. Yeah, and so I doubled back right across the water again, because it was very easy for me to realize, oh shit, that water was my safety net. My natural saving grace was that water, that separator. You know what I mean?
Oh, Damien has an interesting comment, Mike. Let me read this. He said, thank you, Damien. Yes, running streams will ground you when confused and discombobulated, or when what people call getting zapped. I've been zapped and it sucked. Okay. I was zapped several times in one night, actually. Look for a flowing stream. Take your shoes off and step in with a blessing. I will do that next time. Thank you, Damien.
Yeah, definitely. He's not wrong at all. That's good info.
Wow. It's good info. Okay. See, I'm all about getting this good info out to the public too. Okay. And I need that for myself. I could have used a stream that night when we were in Alabama.
I actually do river walks, because it's like the safest thing you can do. Like, but I love it, and it tears up your stuff, like, whatever. That's another show. We'll do that another time.
Man, yeah. Well, yeah, we definitely need to cover all of this. And Bounty, thank you, Steve Wolf, too. I will check my PayPal. Thank you so much. I saw that you left me something in there. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's nice.
Steve's the best. Okay, Bounty Hunting Bear says, from my experience says they can warp your whole reality, all your senses, time, etc. If you disconnect from your emotions, it's easier to work your way out. So disconnect from your emotions as well. Yeah, they probably play. Well, they play off the dark entities and tricksters play off of our emotions, but they're trying to get some kind of response from us, like fear. Well, they probably manifest off that.
You'll hear a lot of people in my comments when I'm showing them something that I bump into, like the white Sasquatch, for instance. Like, a lot of the responses from people who didn't know me were like, "Yeah, okay." Like, listen to how calm he is. Yeah, okay. Like, look at how he's just talking to it. Well, yeah, that's how I practice. Like, what I'm doing is walking Reiki. I'm walking through, and I'm connecting to the entire forest through my energy. I'm tapped in. I'm becoming one with the entire forest. So if there's anything, that wants to, show themselves to me, or, become, part of that life energy, then they can be, and it has to be something good, right? Because that's what I'm allowing in, is the good energy. So, I'm asking the leaves and the branches, can I pass by? Can I pass underneath you safely? Thank you, tree, for, taking care of this and that and whatever. So, like, yeah, like, I tell people, practice. Like, if you see a deer, pretend you just saw a Sasquatch. If you see a squirrel, pretend you just saw a Sasquatch. So when you really do, it won't freak you the hell out. If you want to film a UFO, practice filming planes, practice filming birds flying around. It's not as easy as you think. You know what I mean? So don't wait till that moment where you're like, you be ready for it. Muscle memory.
Yeah. William said that's a trickster spirit laughing. Like the shapeshifter. I mean, I love my favorite. I don't love her. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I don't love Spearfinger. Okay. But I love talking about her. Okay. But she's a shape-shifting witch out of the Appalachians. And I got to say, there's a lot of witches out there. A lot of just kind of darker energies out there.
Yeah. Well, Woodstock has a dark underbelly, and I didn't know. Like, I from what I knew about Woodstock, I knew about like the peace, love,
concert?
and yeah, like, and there's a lot
Jimi
of
Hendrix.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
overflow of that still. There's still a lot of people that come in the summer. I would take pictures of hundreds of people and hippies in front of the, these people were in their 70s and 80s and whatever, and I'd take pictures of them in front of the Woodstock sign so they could all be in the picture. Like, there's a lot of overflow of that love and that stuff, but there's also a very dark underbelly of witchcraft and like dark magic and whatever the hell, and on any given day you can go up to Overlook Mountain, the Magic Meadow, and there may be a peace ceremony up there or a drum circle, and then you might go up on a different day and there's some dark circle going on, right? And you just really, you don't know what you're gonna get. So I camped up there one night, and then when I came down, it was pouring rain. It was a shit show. It was a very active night, a lot of fun. The guy I was with bounced at sunrise because it was so active. He was like, "I'm out." He's like, "This was amazing." He's like, "But it was too much. I'm out." I'm like, "I get it, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm glad you came." And
The energy was just too much, huh?
well, no, the activity was
The
insane.
activity. Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. It was like juvenile fest. So come down the mountain covered in mud, rain, soap, and what do I get? What do I see when I come around the bend is there's a big monk monastery, whatever you want to call it, and it's the 7th day of a 7-day peace ceremony. And there's people dressed to the nines, and I'm like, screw it, I'll go in and check it out, like I want to experience everything I can experience, and I'm in there like literally mud on my face, firewood on my hands, like I'm a mess. But they recognized me. They were like, "Oh," like, because I'm up there a lot, and when other people aren't. So the one guy, he hands me they have this huge gong, and I had gotten like a what's it called? I had gotten like an image or whatever you want to call it, like some kind of a download that I was to play a drum on that mountain, and I never got around to it. Yeah, and I never got around to it because I was mad. I'm like, "Oh, I forgot my native drum out of everything." So I had never gotten to do that night, and I felt like I failed. And then this is what comes about. They give me out of hundreds of people who were there for worship and prayer and everything, the thing to hit a giant gong. And when I hit that gong, it echoed through the mountains. It was like boom. Oh, so cool. Like yeah, I wouldn't trade that for the world.
Man, that's a good experience out there. But that's wild that you'd had that premonition, basically, of you playing some sort of a percussion instrument out there.
You know me, I just go and dip. I just drop myself somewhere, and
you do.
I'm down to do it. Let's go. Like,
you do.
By myself. I don't give a shit. If nobody else can go, let's go. I'll go.
Well, we were talking earlier about how the tones and the frequencies open portals, and I'm wondering if that gong has anything to do with any of the, I don't want to say cryptid activity. Maybe it's for the best, to keep the negative creatures away.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with it, sure. And then there's there's some shamans over by the Ashokan Reservoir too, and they do a lot of that vibrational tones and this and that over the water, and there's a lot of stuff going on up there that we don't see unless you have like that, unless they give you the key to go in and check it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta find the right. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know. I think I know what you mean. Yes, that's an amazing experience. But man, I tell you what, those mountains up there, from between the Adirondacks and the Catskills, very. I know the Appalachians are very old. It's the oldest mountain range in the world, and I'm down here at the very southern end. You're at the very northern tip.
Yeah.
And there's something else that I wanted to ask you about too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They just found in Cairo, New York, the oldest tree in the world. They found the fossil of the tree. It was like 385 billion years old or whatever. And I raced up there to go to that forest. You know, it's the oldest forest in the world in Cairo, New York. You know, and I could not wait to get. I went up there. I grabbed my buddy out and we went up there. And you know, it was very magical to be a part of that. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
But anyway,
man.
go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was going to ask you about your feral people experience, because you know we've got a lot of that down here in the South, and so I have several friends that have been on the show recently, and all of them had feral people encounters to talk about, and I'm like, I did not know that there were this many like real feral people, not off-grid livers, okay, not off-gridders,
Right.
actual feral people out there, and you've actually come across some up there in those mountains before.
Yeah. So you want me to talk about my experience?
Yes, please. I want to hear about your experience up in New York.
So no, you know, no secret. I hike off trail, right? Because don't get me wrong. Like everybody says, oh, to see a Bigfoot, you have to be in the middle of nowhere, right? That's not the case, because most people don't hike in the middle, aren't in the middle of nowhere. They're hiking trails. So they obviously cross our trails because, you know, whatever, or they're near them at least, because people see them all the time. Now, that being said, I blaze my own trails, like, or I go, you know, follow deer trail, game trails, whatever. I try to find another way, you know, in and away from where the regular people may be. So that way I may see something different than anybody's ever seen before. This particular time, I was, man, as weird as this is going to sound, it's right near it's right near where all that crap I was just talking about happened. It's just on the other side of the lake. But there was this, I'm coming, I'm like kind of teetering, because the ground level is not flat, and the lake is down there, and there's like this like drop off kind of somewhere. I know there's a drop off somewhere, and I don't want to go down too far because you know, there's snow on the ground at the time, and if you're off trail and you don't know exactly where you are, whatever, especially in off trail, there's like rocks and stuff, and you can even put your ankle in the wrong spot or whatever, or you know, when it's snow covered, you can, it's very dangerous, very, very dangerous, you know, and I don't suggest it to anybody, because you don't know where you're stepping. Same thing can happen with leaf cover. Heavy leaf cover can hide a lot of things, holes, whatever. But on this occasion, I'm like, what is that up there, right? Like, there's a whole section that's not covered in snow, right? And I'm like, double taken again.
Oh, it's a little warm over there.
I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, it's got colors. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So I get closer, and I have video of it somewhere. And I thought I was going to roll up on a dead body at one point, you know, and there's this little ledge that comes out, and there's like a pillow up under it, and I don't remember if there was a sleeping bag, but there was a bunch of stuff there, like that somebody had been living there, you know, and you could say, oh, it was probably just a homeless person, but a homeless person doesn't live out on the side of a mountain in the snow, you know what I mean? Like they don't do that. They go, shit. I mean, there's so many homeless people in Woodstock and those surrounding areas that have places to go, you know, like they whatever, you know, there's so many places they can go. There's literally abandoned houses everywhere. So these people, whoever they were, I didn't bump into them, but their setup was pretty damn elaborate. And here's where it gets fucked up. Sorry for the lack of the word, but I called the cops because I was still concerned because I'm like, oh, they left their boots behind. Like, they left their boots behind, and the footprints kind of went off, whatever. And you know what I mean?
Oh,
And it
barefoot?
wasn't. Yeah, and it wasn't like, oh, the footprints were fresh, like they ran from me. No, like they were the footprints had snow in them, so they walked off barefoot. And I said, let me look at them and see if maybe.
Oh.
No, it was a bare footprint. So I'm like, all right.
A human barefoot print.
Right. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
Oh, clearly human. Yeah, this is nothing else, right?
Yeah.
And it's a human setup for sure. But I'm like, man, maybe I don't know. A lot of things are going through my mind. But at this point, I get back to like the it's not a road, but it's like a gravel road kind of that can get you back to like a road.
Uh-huh.
So like and the only people that come down it or have access to it are like the like emergency state police people, whatever, you know. If they want to come down, they open the gate way at the other end, then they come in. So I get the cops on the phone and I tell them the coordinates, and they wanted no part of it.
What? What do you mean?
They wanted no part of it. They says, "Are you in blah 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 state? You know, not I don't know if it's state park at this point. I forget. But wilderness. Are you in blah 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 wilderness?" And I says, I think technically it was in that wilderness, yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, don't go back there." And yeah, they wanted to leave him alone. They said leave him alone. They didn't want to go fuck with him. I don't know. I'm sorry, I keep cursing, but it baffles me to this day. And I'm like, you got, and we're not talking to set up like, oh, they had a tent, they had a big tarp, it was like basic bare minimum stuff, like using
Basic.
like really basic, like the pillow was under
Primitive.
a rock. Yeah, primitive. Yes. They had only a few items. I mean, stuff that I don't know what they do out there. Why? What? You know, I don't know. You know, you could say, oh, maybe they're just, you know, bath salt tweakers or something. Like, no, they're something.
It was more. Yeah.
But now I go into these other situations in the Adirondacks with feral people, right? And I find out why. So they urged me not to go back there and do anything, and not to touch their shit, and not to leave a trace. They said, "Did you leave a trace?" And I said, "No." I said, "I'm long gone. I'm at home." They're like, "Do not go back out there."
Oh God.
So I come back and I look into the Adirondacks and this and that and the feral people, and this is a little bit later, but even hunters with weapons, were being challenged by feral people. Cannibal feral people.
What?
They're not out there to eat deer. They're out there to eat people.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I mean, take it or leave it, you know, look it up if you want to. Adirondack Catskill cannibals. They're not just they're cannibals, not just feral people. So, I mean, I don't know any homeless people. I don't know any tweakers that eat people, but apparently they're out here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's absolutely terrifying, but I mean, we've heard about it. Listen, I've seen The Hills Have Eyes. Okay, and
well, I don't
know how accurate that movie is, of course, but
so I mean, I've had this in the back of my mind for a few years now, and so when people are like, "Aren't you scared of like running into this and that?" and I'm like, I know what I'm scared of, and it's that, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd much rather encounter a Dogman, I think. Okay. I'm just saying.
when you think about it, the fact that they will, I don't carry like that. Like I have self-defense, but I don't carry like a hand cannon like a lot of guys do. These cannibals, feral cannibals, are going after hunters with game rifles. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, imagine they live off the land. They are probably well adapted, just like the Bigfoots and the Dogmen out there. And I'd say 2 or 3 of them could take on one human, regular person any day. I mean, you probably don't have a chance.
Well, especially, I mean, so if you're in a deer stand 20 feet up, you know, unless the person or the animal is in front of you, you don't, you know what I mean? You don't have the advantage. Now, if there's a deer walks up behind your tree, okay, no big deal. But now if 2 people are behind your tree, you're at a big disadvantage. You know what I mean? Because you can't see them and you have to come down. I know this story. I know this is getting a little weird to think about, but it's you know, it's a protect your neck situation out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Well, now we have just something else to add to the list. Yet another thing to add to the list to have to look out for when we're out there.
And I want you to do this still. This is your homework.
Okay.
Besides looking up Adirondack feral people. I mean, I'm sure they're everywhere. I've had a lot of reports out of Kentucky. A lot. Way before I, you know, but there's a show on Netflix called Untamed, and it's a soft disclosure for feral people, because there's some things that go down inside, I believe, Yellowstone Park, and the park rangers couldn't care less, really, right? But there's like this agent guy that works with them, and he knows where to go look for answers, and he goes to the encampment. They have like a encampment in the middle of nowhere, you know. And anyway, there's more to it that I don't want to give away, but for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's a pretty cool show in general. Decent acting. Yeah.
Ooh, well, I need to go watch that. I wanted to watch that before the show today, and I got too busy.
It's called Untamed. I think we brought this up. I brought it up to you before, and it's all right.
You did. Well, I don't have Netflix, so that's kind of the problem. I'm like, well, do I want to I don't know. My son said there is some kind of show that's about to start coming back on.
Yeah, Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Yeah, we probably have to sign back up just for a couple of weeks, probably.
Probably have an extra. You could probably use. I wonder if you can use my secondary account.
I don't know. We'll talk behind the scenes, okay?
Yeah.
We'll talk behind the scenes. You know what I was just thinking too, is that we're talking about feral people are no joke. It's kind of funny. Somebody in the chat was like, I'm thinking about going feral, you know, and it's kind of tongue in cheek. It's kind of funny, right? But I mean, I remember the last time I went into, y'all, I'm not sponsored by Buc-ee's, okay? But I went to Buc-ee's on a trip. I mean, you know, anytime I get a chance, I stop by and get some food there. And
I don't know what that is. But.
And it's a big gas station. It's like a super Walmart basically inside of. They have really good food though. Okay, but it's got great bathrooms. Not sponsored by them, but I do love going there. But anyways, yeah. So they had these shirts. So they have like cool shirts and, you know, apparel and stuff. Most of them have a big old beaver. It's Bucky Beaver, you know. But they had these shirts, and for women it said feral on it. And I thought, man, that is so inappropriate. If they only knew. I don't think these people know there's actual real feral people out in these mountains. I don't know. Because, you know, feral's kind of, they're just thinking they're wild and free, I guess. I don't know. I would not wear that shirt. Or maybe I would. But
who knows?
Maybe man. I would.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna end up with a feral T-shirt in my mailbox one day. Somebody's gonna be like, "Here, I got you this." But anyways, it is Christmas.
It is.
Go get your feral T-shirts on the highway, y'all, over at a Buc-ee's.
Right. Is it me, or is it just me, or does anyone else manage to always be broke on Christmas, or or like Black Friday? Like I never have. Yeah. I never have a pot to piss in when I need one. You know.
No, right? It's the holidays, man. I know. I'm trying to stay positive.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I'll try to stay positive about it. I know. I feel you, man. We're all there. I think we're all there. But anyways, yeah. Let's see. Isaac 9 says nobody watched 28 Days Later. Yeah.
Oh man, is that the one?
That's scary. That's like a zombie movie.
Oh, okay. There's one I really like. 28 Days of Night. That's the one I like.
Oh yeah.
It's vampires, I think, though.
Oh yeah.
That one's cool. That one's cool because it's like a town in Alaska that like just turns. It basically there is no daylight for like a month.
Yeah, is that Alaska? You said? I don't know, some town.
Yep. Yeah, it's a real place. Yeah.
People stay really depressed in that environment. I've been told.
Well, a lot of them leave. That's the basis for the beginning. Is a lot of them are packing up and leaving, and some people stay back, and then the people who stay back, whatever. I don't want to give it away. If you haven't seen it though, it's so good. Because vampire movies are like outside of Dracula, they're like not really that great usually, But this one was done really well.
Yes, Rose Thistle artworks. That's hilarious. Jessica Bobby Farrell. It's Ricky Bobby. Okay, it's Jessica Ricky Bobby Farrell Ricky Bobby. Okay. So this is funny because you guys are gonna love it. I made a new design, and I know I don't have merch right now. I don't have a lot of merch and stuff, but I have a design. I call it my Talladega Squatch, and I'm gonna be. I actually made some. Well, I can't say it really because I know my family doesn't watch my shows. Who am I kidding? My mom does. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say what I can't say because my family here, they don't watch my shows. Okay.
I was gonna say your mom's one of the most active people I've ever seen.
She is, but like my sister, my brother-in-law stuff. I got them hoodies with my new design on it and stuff. And so I will make some merch. I think people would appreciate that one. I think you guys will appreciate it. All the viewers will. My Talladega Squatch. So y'all stand by. Maybe I'll put that up tomorrow. I'll find somewhere to get some merch made online. You guys can purchase some yourselves. But anyways, yeah. Ricky Bobby Farrell people.
What the hell is a Talladega Squatch?
Talladega. That's where I went on my last expedition out there on Talladega, where I had the Dogman sightings out there. And
wait, all I know about. All right. Well, all I know about is a speedway. That's all.
It is. It's got. Listen, my Talladega Squatch has checkered flags, y'all. Okay, and it is 100% me.
Oh man! Okay? If you're not first, you're last.
If you ain't first, you're last. That's right. Mike, I will come at you like a spider monkey. Watch out. Okay.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
That's right. That's right, Chip. So, man, this has been a wonderful, interesting show tonight. And I think that we covered a lot of stuff. And I think it was amazing. I really, I think it was, who was it? Was it Ange or there's somebody in the chat was saying that it was Kirianne, I think. You need to contact David Politis about your incident that you had out there. I think that's not a bad idea, actually. I mean, even taking I can make a little clip of this so we can email this to him. Okay. I will make a short clip that we can send to David Politis. I don't know if he'd ever open it. Okay. But
I don't know either. You can if you want. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll talk about it after the show tonight. And Mike, this has been absolutely amazing. And I want to thank you so much for sharing your encounters with us tonight. And
of course.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And thank you for your service too, in the military. And I very much appreciate you as a friend as well, Mike. Thank you for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime.
Of course. Okay. Well, tell everybody where they can find you, Mike, and maybe mention the video with James one more time, too.
War Woman Goods on Etsy.
War Woman Goods. Thank you, Mike. But it's actually Long Island Bigfoot on YouTube.
Yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me. I open memberships back up, so if you guys want, that helps, and I will. I'm going to try to start catering more towards making videos for members that are more informative and more behind the scenes things that I can't really put out to the everyday public, which is something I've been wanting to do for a while. But I'm coming back around to doing a lot more with the channel, that's for sure. Yeah, if you go to the channel right now, there's a video at the top. Not shorts, regular videos. It says "Remembering James Rink," and it is Jessica and him in the field, and I'm just documenting it. Oh, there's the thumbnail. Yeah. Yeah, that's Council Rock and Montauk Manor, and then we were basically right there at night. To the left, there's a bunch of woods called Fort Hill. Yeah, it was, and for you Stranger Things fans, there's a lot of stuff is done in that area. It's just not, it's just not named. Very, very, very powerful energy. Lots happens there. You just have to be there for it to happen.
Man, I was not comfortable out there. Once I started, I felt like we were surrounded by people, even though it was probably ghosts. And I was so convinced that we were going to be kidnapped that night.
If you guys want, go back to the full documentary too, Council Rock mini doc, and you'll see some of the stuff I had to take out because there's actual. I got copyright struck, and I can't afford another one because they just keep hitting me for everything. But it's still up anyway, and there's music that I keep thinking I'm hearing this music and like something like harmoniously like like something doing something, and then Jessica starts to feel like she's being pulled down by by multiple arms and hands, and like they're trying to take her down into the ground. And we actually had to I offered her, I said, do you want to get out? And she was, and that's when I knew she was a boss, because she's like, no. And I'm like, all right, because most people I go out with, they want to get out of Dodge because shit gets wild really fast. But she's like, let's go to the top. And when we did, we got up there, and I think she was able to breathe a little better from the open air. But yeah.
I just need to breathe. I remember saying, I was like, I just need to breathe. I just need to breathe.
And
I'm having a hard time breathing.
Yeah, and you'll hear me in there too later in the full version saying, I've never seen this much sky activity ever in my life. I've never seen this many orbs or UFOs or whatever you want to call them. I've never seen this many in my life ever. And something that was told in secrecy, I don't know if you want to say, Jessica, what James said to you, but I found that very interesting.
What he told me?
How he with his truth.
Well, okay, so I kept saying, I feel like we're going to be kidnapped. I was like, I feel like I'm going to get kidnapped out here. And I kept saying that. And I was like, I just had this horrible feeling. And and I didn't like not being within eyesight of either you or James or both of y'all the whole time we were out there. It was late at night. Yeah. It was very dark. We were in a labyrinth of trails with like overhang and like brush and stuff. It was really not safe probably for us to be out there, right, with that Montauk Manor right there beside it, and it was like a Illuminati vibes. It was weird.
Oh yeah.
And so we're out there, and I kept saying, I was like, I feel like I'm going to get kidnapped out here or something. And we got back to the house that night, and James walked up to me, and he said, Jessica, I was taken while we were out there. I said, well, how do you know that? And he said, well, look at the inside of my mouth. And he said that he would bite his gum, like the inside of his cheek, every time he was taken, because he would never remember it unless he did. And he said, he showed me the inside of his mouth. He had a big hole in the side of his mouth on his cheek. And he said, I was taken because I have a hole right here in my mouth right now. And I was like, man, that was, and that was just the way just what happened. It was part of his life, We were probably all taken, Mike. I'm just saying.
It's a good possibility.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
Yeah. That labyrinth you're talking about too is it's not a lot of woods necessarily, like, you know what I mean? But I have gone from the manor, from the Montauk Manor to Council Rock. I've gone like through those woods, like, and I have to duck, right? Because only deer can really get through. So I've had to duck and go through. Last time I went through there by myself, I started to really freak out. I started to get mad because I would go through and I would go straight towards the manor to go back from Council Rock, and I would spit back out at Council Rock on that side. And I'm like, what the hell? How did I get turned around? And I'd go back in and go straight, and somehow it spit me back out. So everything looking the same, you can easily just make a little quarter turn and get yourself all spun up, and you know, and it's really screwy. But yeah, I remember one time I was down under the tree brush and I heard you yelling like, "Where the hell are you?" And I'm like, "I'm right here." I'm like, "I'm over here." But it is, yeah, it's very
like,
sketchy.
Get your butt over here. I was like, I don't want to be out here by myself. I don't know. Yeah, it was just and you know, and even in those videos, you can see there's eye shine in the bushes and stuff too, which was weird. But
oh well, yeah. I don't know what that was, but whatever that was that that Brian had captured eye shine of, it had to have been down, hanging like down the side of the mountain, like that was off a cliff, you know. So it's not like they're like, it looks low to the ground. So you might, originally I was like, oh, it's probably just a rabbit. When I went back to the spot, it would have been something hanging off the cliff, looking up at us like that.
Oh God.
Yeah, which I did not super comfortable with it, but yeah.
Well, here's the thing about that trip that we were out there. James Rink, who's a dear friend of mine and yours too, Mike, he loved Bigfoot. And so the fact that he got to go out with 2 Bigfoot field researchers and go and do that, I know that meant a lot to him. And so
it was an honor. Yeah,
it was.
You know, and just you know, just in that moment, not even knowing that he was going to pass, it just was like, he looked at me at one point. He was like, "Is it okay? Like, do you want to do something?" I'm like, "No, go. You know, you're good. Like, go do your thing." Like, it was nice to see, because he brought something to the table that you can't teach. It's like a carefree, childlike, almost, like, you know what I'm saying?
Like innocence.
Yeah, that's something that you can't. And I don't have it in me anymore. I mean, a little bit. Like, I joke nonstop, but I don't have that. Like, you know. And he's like, it's you can see it too when he's like artistic through his dance and stuff. He knows how to like let himself go, and you know, I don't, you know. I was like, bro, you got the golden ticket, bro. Go to Willy Wonka. You know, let's go. Let's go. You show me the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, he is very special, and he's sorely missed, very much missed. And yes, Rose Thistle Artwork says James is front lines on the other side in God's military now for sure. Yes, and he was a huge frontline disclosure advocate when it came down, especially the secret space program. And so, yeah, we got to keep carrying the torch, okay, for the disclosure. I had the honor of speaking at his conference back in October recently, and that was the last time I got to see him. So yeah, so rest in peace to James Rink, and we love you, James, if you can hear us right now. And y'all go check out that video over on Long Island Bigfoot on YouTube, and check it out. You can see us being silly, having fun out there at Council Rock at Long Island. So up at Montauk, y'all. And so yeah, so Mike, thank you again for being here tonight. And hey, Johnny, good to see you in here. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful New Year. Thank you.
I'm sure we'll
Thank
talk
you.
again.
We will. And before we go tonight, I want to thank, let's see, John, thank you for becoming a member of the Hunt Club tonight. And JoJo, thank you for the super sticker. Nathan Davis and Jorgensen and DJ Finwood, thank you so much for the super sticker, and Stargazer and Steve Wolf as well. Thank you, Steve, for your support as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight as much as I did. And gosh, I learned a lot. I learned a lot tonight, Mike. And I'm glad that you're here with us. I'm glad you chose to dive into the water and to get out of that situation. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith to survive, y'all. And that's something to leave y'all with tonight. Sometimes you just have to do it.
I don't know if I told that story well, but I tell you, I ain't never been that scared in a long. I was messed up,
I
man.
bet.
I was all sorts of messed up. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
bet. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you had enough wherewithal to do that and to get out of there and to be here to tell us about it tonight. So please stay safe out there, Mike. Y'all, everybody that's listening tonight, y'all, please stay safe. And
Well,
yeah,
let me
don't live
say
in
this
fear.
before we close out.
Okay.
Let me say this before we close out. I go out there thousands of times, guys. There's probably a handful of, you know, really, really bad, like scary or sketchy. You know what I mean? Like the woods aren't always gonna eat you alive or you know what I mean?
Right.
Go out and enjoy nature, love the cryptids, love everything out there. But you know, this is just to say shit can go left, you know, and there's stuff
Yeah.
out there, you know, so we have to really respect it, you know, we have to respect one way or another, you know, so, you know, I some shit for every 100 times I go out and walk in a circle, you know, I might not see, well, you get my drift, so, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's not always bad out there. And but keep your head on a swivel, y'all. Okay. Just be aware of your surroundings and pay attention to energy shifts out in the not only out in the woods, but also at the grocery store, in the parking lots, when you're going to the library, you name it. Pay attention to your surroundings at all time, especially now. We've got a lot of weird stuff going on in this world. Okay. And pay attention to, like I said, energy shifts, and pay attention to the people around you, especially if you're out shopping or if you're at a restaurant. Pay attention. Okay. And keep your vibrations high. Thank you, Jane. Jane's in the chat. Jane and Gerald, thank you all so much for being here. Good night, everyone. Keep your vibrations high. Thank you to all my moderators so much for being here. All my Hunt Club members, all my Patreon members, thank you all so much. I will see you guys back here on Monday as we go live at 1 p.m. Eastern. Be there, be square, y'all. Mike, have a wonderful night. I will see you guys on Monday. All right. Bye, y'all.